Thank you all for tuning in. We are going to be talking about, as always, for this week, raising your standards. I'm your host, Vernon Brown, Happy Meals, bringing you health, happiness, and everything in between. So, this is going to be part 4 of raising your standards. What we're going to be going over today is one of the really cool ways that you can always make sure, no matter if it's raining, snowing, if you feel upset, if you're feeling worried, if you're feeling scared, these are the things that you can do to ensure that you will consistently raise your standard. So if you've been following along, and if you are just jumping in here now and you want to figure out some different ways of following, different ways of applying, part 1, go to part 4. What we're doing is we're making this giant kind of like multi-layered sandwich of success. The easier you make it, the more likely you're going to be successful. And what we're doing all this week and for the next few weeks, from here on out, as long as I possibly can, is giving you as many tips as you can to do different things in your life that I hear so many people struggling with. Now, the tips that have been given, and these are more implementation strategies, these are really brought together right here, because this is the glue. All those things independently are fantastic, make no mistake, and they're great when you do them. But what we're going to be doing today is bringing the glue to all of this. We're really going to be showing you how you can do this consistently and make it, even easier. So you're out there in the world. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about a real life example, something that just happened maybe 45 minutes ago with myself. I'm super uncomfortable with so many different things that I'm working on. And it's really cool, right? Because you never realize that. I think the phrase, that really captured this is you never really realize how hard it is to raise your standards. When you're in your kind of your comfort zone, when you're that king or queen, when you're in your realm. But the phrase that really captures this is, I think it was Les Brown. He said that most people prefer to stay king or queen inside their comfort zone. And they don't realize that it could be so much better if they just got uncomfortable. And that stuck with me. And it always kind of sticks with me. And so one of the things that I do is every now and again, at least once a year, twice a year, depends, I intentionally get, really uncomfortable. I always do something that makes me uncomfortable, but this uncomfortable, it's about raising my standards. It's about raising fees. It's about trying different ways of, helping people, different ways of serving people, different ways of being really present to give people some different tips. This is one of them. Go figure, right? But one of the ways that I have been so consistent with doing this is making sure that I have a fail-proof way of making sure that I will consistently go out there and do it no matter how I feel. And this is a big one. If there's one thing that stops so many people from ever really achieving what they want, it's they stop before they even get the results. They always stop right when they're like this freaking close. As the expression goes, it's 3 feet from gold. If you've never heard that before, it's too minor. It's actually a really famous story. And I know Napoleon Hill talks about that. There's a book called 3 Feet from Gold based upon this. But where the story goes is there's this guy. And he has this, the desire, this will, capacity to say that I'm going to find this gold that's buried, in the ground. And he's working and working and working, and he's digging, just putting all this work consistently. And, the first day he's excited, first week he's super excited. Well, then all of a sudden, the second week he's excited, but he's like, okay, it's coming. Third week goes and he's like, is it coming? What's going on? And, he just starts getting his feelings. He just starts saying that, I'm not getting anything from this. I'm tired. I got calluses. My back hurts. People think I'm a fool because I'm telling them I'm digging for gold. And, this sounds familiar for you. Really think about the parallels. How many times have you started something and you've been really excited? Maybe it was to play soccer, play guitar, play piano, play violin, or just, learn a new language or martial arts. And you're like, okay, I'm so excited about this, so excited. And that first couple of weeks, you're really excited. But after that, we all know there's a half-life on excitement, a half-life on happiness, a half-life on every emotion. It cannot stay at this peak. And especially if you're not necessarily getting the data that you're looking for. So it just starts dwindling. But back with the story, he is just frustrated. It's like 2 months. Again, I'm butchering the time. I might have it right, might not, but you get the point. He is just frustrated. And he's like, I'm taking losses. I'm not getting anything. I don't have any kind of social proof because people are making fun of him, right? And, he just got so tired. And he was like, beep this. Sugar honey iced tea ain't for me. And then this guy's wandering there and he's like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, I'm done. Here is all my stuff to my goal. Just take it at cost. And he gives it away to the guy or sells it to the guy like at cost. What happened? This guy looked at the equipment and said, let me just dig a little bit right here. Already where the guy was digging. 3 feet later, he hit the gold. Fortune, a jackpot. But the guy gave up too early. And if this is making sense to you all, let me just bring it full circle. How many times have you stopped doing something because you're frustrated, because you're tired, or because you're just annoyed? Maybe you just start feeling that you're not getting a belief in yourself. And it's beeping frustrating. I mean, I get it. But what if you just hung in there for a few more swings? What if you just hung in there for a few more minutes in that conversation? What if you just stuck it out and had, one more really tough moment that made you better, or one more rep? What if you just stuck that out and given it your best go? Maybe not even giving it your best, but just swung. What if you found out that would have been that time where it would have just kind of like, in this case, with going to metaphor, it's like showing you a little bit of gold that could have, oh my gosh, excited you. If you started your podcast, like, oh my gosh, excites you. It's that one new follower, the one new viewer on a live stream, the one new person who leaves a comment, that one new person who actually says, hey, I would like to go on a date with you if you're looking for, if you're looking for love, or maybe that one new post that you make on Twitch, Twitter, or just whatever. And then finally impact somebody. Do you know how much encouragement is? And then you do it again and you get 3 or 2. And then you do it again. And then the next thing you know, boom, it hits. I cannot tell you how many times I've talked to so many successful entrepreneurs because I work with successful entrepreneurs. I work with people who want to be more successful. I work with people who might struggle with procrastination or hesitation, but it's like, oh, they just need that little bit of oomph just to give that to them. How cruel would it be for you to be that close, but you stop? And what makes people stop? They give up. That's just straight up, they give up. But what I'm getting at, for me, what has helped me significantly is making sure that I have a plan, no matter what. A plan that you stick with, a plan that you're saying, oh my gosh, I've got to see this through, even when it gets tough. Because when you're doing things like that, it gets emotional, it gets tough, you get in your feelings, you get frustrated. I know it. I'm going through it. Even it happened about an hour ago today. So as I'm out here, even tell my personal side of the story, but, obviously use some confidentiality. I was contacted. I raised my prices. I'm going for a whole new fee. But I'm also leveling up my service, how I'm going to make sure I show up. I've got different tools now to make sure that I am like serving in a big way. I already have a really high success rate, but it's like, I need to make sure this makes sense. I offer transformation. People are going from 80,000 to 160,000 just like that. That's a big thing. And so it's valuable. But in this case, I got contacted by someone and it wasn't a good fit. That's not my specialty for this particular situation. It wasn't. And then I got the no after I did my offer. It hurts to get a no. When I say it hurts, at this stage, it's not that it stings like, oh gosh, I can't get out of bed. But, it's like, man, I could have done some great work. But I know it's not my specialty. Can I help? Absolutely. But it wasn't my specialty. It made me want to consider dropping my standard. Even for a blink of an eye, I even consider dropping my standards. But right here on my desk, what you can't see is my notebook. Right here on my notebook are my standards, are my goals, are my, my treasure map to success, how I'm defining it. And it said, do not budge. Because what can happen if you say you're going to raise your standard and then you might get a no, you might get you might get just whatever. Maybe they might even send an ellipsis or, 3 ... if you're looking for like, if you're on a dating app or something. And you want to consider like, I said I'm not going to respond to anybody who doesn't fit this criteria. I said that I'm only going to hire jobs that, match this exact profile. When you have it written down and you're committed to it, it reinforces, even though you might get a disappointment, a setback, or a missed opportunity, if you will. It's going to say, no, I got to stick to this. I got to stick to this. I want to be better. I want to get uncomfortable, and I am here to get uncomfortable. Doing these live streams every day, it's uncomfortable, but I want to get better. I'm determined to get better. And with this case, with this side of my business, it was the same thing. And when he said no, could I have actually said like, oh, hey, let's do this? But you know what? I would not have been serving them properly. I wouldn't have been. So what I said was, I wish you the best. If I've run across anybody who might help you with that particular situation, I'm going to make sure I refer them. And I am looking for them. But for me, if that matches that's a no, that was a yes to my standards. This just happened. This is not made up. This is live. I got the text messages and the conversation. You have to stick to your standards. And by using a plan, it takes the you out of it. Sure, you are in it, but it takes the you that wants to play small out of it. Find a plan. Create a plan. Re-listen to these videos. I purposely have made them short and impactful. Brief but impactful. I like to remove excuses for you. Get out there, write a plan. Get out there, surround yourself with people who want better, who are having more fun with the things that you struggle at. Get out there and say, I demand more of myself. This is the time and this is your time. Write a plan. We're going to be closing this week out about raising our standards with a special surprise we're going to be talking about tomorrow with even more, tools for you that you can use. Because the more tools you have, you stop treating everything like a freaking nail. Because when all you have is a hammer, everything's a nail. But I'll give you a screwdriver, a hacksaw, a blowtorch, a chainsaw. All of a sudden, you have so many more things you can do to achieve the goals that you want. Get out there, stay focused. Make sure you download our copy of Happy Holidays. It's a holiday cookbook, free gift to us, a free gift to you from Happy Meal Diet, us here. I'm going to see you all tomorrow. If you have any questions, feel free, drop me a message, click that link down below and get your copy today.